Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm sorry if the lighting is a little weird in this video, but I figured since this is just a tag video and it's not really about, you know, makeup, it wouldn't matter if the lighting wasn't perfect. I have a window right next to me and I usually have like a blanket over it so there's not light coming in, but it's not too sunny today, so I think it's gonna be okay. But as you can see from the title, this is the reading assumptions about me tag or assumptions about me. I'm not sure what the exact name of this tag is supposed to be, so I'll figure it out and put it for the title. But basically, I'm just reading your all's assumptions that you have about me and then just letting you know if those assumptions are true or not. And I'm not for sure exactly who first started this tag, but I saw it going around and I watched several from like different YouTubers that I watch, and I was like, oh, that seems like really interesting video to do, because it's kind of like a Q&A, but different because it's like things that maybe people really wouldn't ask you. So yeah, so I asked you guys a couple of, like 2 separate times on my Insta stories what assumptions you had about me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start reading them. So the first assumption is that you're a shy person. And I wouldn't really say that I'm shy, but I feel like it's kind of situational for me. Like if I'm in a situation where, like for instance at work, like I work at an Amazon fulfillment center and there's like a ton of people that work there. So I might not always talk to everybody just because there's so many people that work there. So that might make me come off as shy or kind of stuck up, but it's not that I don't want to talk to everybody, but it's kind of like I just stick to the people that I talk to. Unless I'm like thrown in a situation where it's like if they threw me to a new department and I didn't know anybody there, I would talk to people and make friends. But it's kind of like one of those situations, if I don't have to talk to people, like go out of my way, I usually don't, unless I'm in a very talkative mood that day and just want to talk to everybody. So I don't know. I feel like maybe my shyness is kind of situational, but I wouldn't even consider it shyness because it's almost like I'm just kind of doing my own thing, and it's not that I don't want to talk to people, but I just almost don't even think about it. Like when I go out shopping or something like that, I'm just like in the zone doing my own thing that I usually don't think to talk to other people unless somebody talks to me or unless I just get like just an inkling to talk to somebody else. So okay, the next question, well, this one is a question, but the next assumption is you don't want any kids. And I don't know, like I feel like I kind of had this question like a couple of times, like that I didn't want kids or that Josh and I didn't want kids. And it's not necessarily that I don't want kids or that I don't like kids, but it's just that I've never had like my own personal desires to have to have children. And it's always been one of those things that I've always thought, like if it happens, like I wouldn't be upset about it, but there's nothing, I don't know. I feel like there's those people that they just know they want to have kids and they're just definitely going to have kids. That's never been me, but I feel like if it happened, I wouldn't be upset. So I guess you could say I'm kind of neutral about it. Like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Okay, this person said you've grown a ton since the 2014 days when I first started watching your channel. Thanks so much. It's not really an assumption, she was just telling me. You were a tomboy growing up, sending you love to you and the kitties. I was definitely a tomboy growing up. Like I was that kid that always wanted to go outside and climb in trees, and I can remember, like this is so silly, but like whenever I was younger, I used to always like play with whenever I would play with my cousins, we would always pretend like we were animals outside, like, I don't know, cats climbing trees or dinosaurs chasing each other. Like, we just would always pretend to be animals whenever we were outside. And if we ever played house, like if I was ever with my cousins and they were playing house, I always wanted to be the pet, like the dog or the cat or something like that. I never wanted to be people. So yeah, I've always been a tomboy, like growing up, and I liked things that girls wouldn't normally like. Like I liked reptiles, and I had like little toy like lizards and snakes and reptiles. I mean, I also had little stuffed animals like cats and dogs, and not really dogs so much, mostly cats. But yeah, I had different stuffed animals, but I was into like things that most girls weren't really into. I really could care less about dolls or Barbies. Like the only time I would ever play with the Barbies that I had was like if my cousins came over and they wanted to play Barbies, or if I had friends that want to play Barbies, but I was never like a huge Barbie or baby doll type person. I was like a animal, like stuffed animal toy like lover. This next one, which I kind of just answered this and what I kind of just talked about this in the last assumption, but this person says you're a cat person, but you love dogs and other animals as well. And I had some other assumptions that was kind of along the lines of this, or they were like, yeah, they were along the same sort of lines as that. And that is so true. Like, I am definitely a cat person, and I have been a cat person since I was very young, like 3 or 4. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know what I'm talking about, but they had like pound purries and pound puppies, and I think it was like a TV show, but they also had like little stuffed animals, and I had like a whole family of like the pound purries. And I had this one, I named it Milky Way, and it was like a white one with like gray stripes on it, and that thing went with me everywhere. And I was like the crazy cat kid, like where I had cat t-shirts and cat jewelry and rings and earrings. I was like the crazy cat lady, but as a kid. And like whenever The Lion King came out, I was obsessed because they were big cats, and I don't know. So yeah, I've always been a cat person, but I do love other animals. Like I do love dogs, I love birds, I love like any type of animal I love. I've even had reptiles as pets. Like I've had lizards. We had fish growing up. So yeah. Your favorite kind of movie is comedy. And I don't know if I've like ever really thought about what my favorite type of genre of movie is, but I definitely do watch a lot of comedy. Like whenever I do watch movies, it's usually either comedy, like some sort of drama, or like mystery type of movies, or like love, like chick flick type movie. So it kind of just depends on my mood, but I definitely do like to watch comedies. I love The Office. I love Parks and Rec. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like when it comes to TV shows, and I would definitely consider those more comedy. And like Josh and I watch those types of shows all the time. You Are Quiet. And that kind of goes back to You're Shy. And it's like, if you don't really know me, or if I've never really talked to you before, I probably do come off as quiet. But once you get to know me, or once I know you, I'm definitely not quiet. And you're probably like, okay, you need to shut up and you need to calm down. Not really, but I feel like probably some people are like that, think that way with me once I really know you. But yeah, I can come off as quiet at first. You're pretty chilled out and don't get angry often. And I would definitely say that is me now. Now, whenever I was younger, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've went through my periods of time. Yeah, I would definitely say when I was younger, I was a little bit more short fused. And I definitely think that the first person that I was married to, he had a very like short temper, and I feel like after that it made me like really kind of evaluate things and like made me think like, don't act like that, because that always like bothered me. I don't like it when people are short tempered. Like, it just makes the other person feel really uncomfortable. It's just really unnecessary, because it's like that moment is going to be here and gone in the next like hour, and it's just not worth it, or really the next 5 minutes. And it's like, there's no point to get super angry about something. I mean, there's definitely times to be angry, but I'm definitely not the type of person that gets angry very often. But I will say that the times when I have gotten very angry, it's like, you better stay out of my way, because the fact that I don't get angry very often, it's like in times where it's like, okay, you've pushed me to my very last like resort, my very end of my fuse, then it's like a blow up like a volcano. But that is very far and few between, and I could probably like count the times that that has actually happened. You would like to get married again, and that is true. Like, when I first went through my divorce, it's not that I questioned marriage or didn't necessarily ever want to be married again, but like, honestly, after my divorce, I had a lot of like trust issues. I didn't know if I could trust anybody again. And honestly, in my head, I seriously thought, like, if I'm single for the rest of my life, I would be completely cool with that, because I would rather be single and happy and content than to be in a relationship with somebody that makes your life horrible. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's just not worth it. But if you do find the right person, like, if I thought in my head, if I did find the right person again, I would definitely be open to marriage. So yeah, I definitely am open to marriage again, but it's just that, you know, I don't like to force things on people. I've learned that from my past. So I've just learned that people work in their own time and at their own pace. So you cannot force somebody to marry you, and you wouldn't want to do that, because it's not going to end up well. I feel like that was part of my issue before, so I'm not even going to go there. But yes, I would like to get married again. Okay, this was actually one of my pretty good friends, Jen. She said, you stay pretty 24/7. And while that might seem that way, I don't feel that way, because there's definitely times where I'm not, at least I don't feel pretty. Like right now, the outfit that I have on, top half is looking cute, bottom half is looking a hot mess. Like, if I was to just show you, and you're probably not even be able to see, but I have like these parachute like pant things on, and they look hideous with this shirt. So I don't know. I feel like I definitely have times where I'm not pretty 24/7, but thank you, Jen. Okay, my other friend, she commented and said, you never get angry, and that goes along with the other person. I mean, most of the times I don't get angry, but I've definitely had my moments where I have. Okay, you're more of an indoor person. And honestly, I feel like that is not true about me. It probably seems like I'm more of an indoor person because I'm more girly, I'm more into makeup and fashion and all that, but I also love the outdoors. Like in the summertime, I love going to the pool, I love hiking. I just love being outside when it's nice. Now, if it's like raining and gross, yeah, I don't want to be outside, because who wants to be outside when it's raining and gross and cold? But if the weather is nice, I definitely would prefer to be outside than indoors. You wear makeup every day, and I would say that probably 95% of the time I do wear makeup. I just feel more comfortable and more myself when I wear makeup. Like if I go to work without makeup on, I just feel naked, and like everybody's looking at me like, you're naked. And I know that no one probably even thinks that, it's just in my head. So it's more of something that probably I need to work on. But I just also enjoy putting makeup on. It's kind of like, and I think I've mentioned this before, but it's like me time when I'm sitting here in the morning getting ready. It's just, I really enjoy it. So yeah, like I said, I probably do wear makeup 95% of the time, but sometimes on the weekends, like especially if I'm doing a bunch of chores or just like going to the grocery store, doing things like that, I might not really wear makeup because it's just like, why? Or if I'm like going to the gym, like if I've woken up and I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gym and I have nothing else going on that day, then yeah, I'm probably not gonna put makeup on. But if I'm doing anything semi-important, like going to work, or if I was going like to have lunch with a friend, or if I just wanted to look nice, yeah, I'm gonna put makeup on. You're a small town girl who loves country music. And I'm the type of person that I love all kinds of music. And I feel like I go through my phases with different genres, like where sometimes I'm really into country music, and then other times I'm kind of more into like pop music. Other times I'm into more like, you know, kind of club music. I don't know if that's the right word, like dance music, electronica type of stuff. So I mean, it really just depends on my moods and like what I'm really into at the time, but I love all genres. I mean, I would consider myself like a small town girl or like a small town person, just because I feel like the town where I grew up is kind of a small town. It's definitely not as small as it used to be, but yeah. Okay, you're afraid of water. This one cracks me up because I am definitely not afraid of water. I love water. Like, I feel like in a past life I was probably a whale or a dolphin because I dream about the ocean all of the time, and I love going to the beach. I love being at the pool and swimming, so definitely not afraid of water. That you are incredibly kind. And that is very sweet. I mean, I definitely do try to be kind to others and to think about other people. I mean, we're all human, and sometimes, you know, you get kind of caught up in your own world and you kind of forget, you know, maybe not necessarily to be kind, but sometimes you're just so caught up in like your day-to-day that you're just focused on what you're doing and not really paying attention to others as much. But yeah, I definitely try to be kind and definitely think of others. That you're a stay-at-home mom. And I feel like I don't know if she maybe doesn't watch a lot of my videos, but I definitely don't have any children. The only children that I have are my fur babies, my kitties. So, and I definitely do not stay at home. I do not work from home. I have a full-time job outside of YouTube, and like I mentioned earlier in the video, I work at an Amazon fulfillment center 40 hours a week, sometimes 50, 60 hours, but yeah, so I definitely do work outside of YouTube. That you're a Christian, and that is a true assumption. I am a Christian and I try to go to church. I mean, I know I've definitely had my times in my life where I haven't been as close to God as I needed to be, and maybe wasn't going to church as regularly as I needed to be. But yes, I do consider myself a Christian. I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus. So yeah. Okay, this person said that you and Josh will get married. LOL. Maybe that's more of a wish than an assumption. Okay, you and Josh don't want kids. Okay, I already talked about that. After your divorce, you don't believe in marriage anymore. I've already addressed that. I already addressed to go to church. You were a straight A student, and I wouldn't say that I was a straight A student, but I definitely strived to be a straight A student. There were definitely times where I got, you know, some B's on my report card, and I do remember there was one time in particular, because I was always like got A's and B's, but one time I got like a C in a history class, and I thought it was like the end of the world. So yeah, I definitely tried to get straight A's whenever I was in school. Not that I always did, but I tried to, for sure. You are very frugal. And I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm extremely frugal because I definitely do splurge on things from time to time, but I do try to be conscious about what I spend and how I spend it and what I'm spending it on. You know, if it's like things, for instance, like right now I'm doing the Whole30 diet and, you know, I'm eating really healthy. And sometimes when you eat healthy, it's not so much that the healthy foods like, you know, getting broccoli or like peppers or cucumbers, it's not so much that produce is expensive, but it's the amount of it that you have to buy that can get expensive. Or even just like buying the meats, you know, if you're trying to get things that aren't, you know, have a lot of hormones and that are more like grass fed and stuff like that, it costs a little more, but I feel like that is your health, and I would splurge a little bit more on that. On things that don't matter necessarily, like the types of toilet paper that you would buy, or I don't know, Kleenexes that you would get, or cleaning products, or I don't know, just like the little things that don't make a difference if it's expensive or not. Like, so those are like the things that I would save money on, but like the things that are important, I would splurge on, if that makes sense. So, yeah. You don't like dogs, you're more of a cat person. And it's not that I don't like dogs, but I'm just more of a cat person. I just find that cats are easier to take care of. Like, they just basically take care of themselves. This person said that you're hilarious. And I don't know if I would consider myself hilarious. I definitely try to make others laugh and put a smile on other people's faces sometimes. Like, I feel like I try to be quick-witted sometimes. Like, if there's like a conversation and something comes up and it's something that comes in my mind that's like funny, I try to voice it, whether that be like a song or like a phrase or something that you try to please everybody and it wears you out. And I definitely do feel like I struggle with that at times, but I'm trying to be better about that. It's like, I think it's not so much that I want to please everybody, and maybe this is the same thing, but it's like I don't want to let anybody down or disappoint anyone. And I think that that just stems back to my childhood. Like, whenever I was in elementary school, I was diagnosed with ADD and dyslexia. And so I felt like I had to like try harder to not disappoint, because I felt like, and I know that my parents do not feel this way at all, but as a kid in like the 3rd grade, I thought that I was a disappointment to my parents to be dyslexic or to have ADD. So I think that's why sometimes I have issues with wanting to please everybody, and why I don't want to let people down is because it stems from that. But I think knowing that, it kind of helps me to try to not be so much that way. I assume you're a shoeholic, just like me. And I know I have my shoes back here, but I wouldn't really consider myself a shoeholic. I feel like Josh is more of a shoeholic than me. I think he has more shoes than I have, but I don't know. Maybe to some people I am. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really think I am, but who knows? Maybe I am. Maybe it's like one of those things I just haven't admitted yet. You work hard for your money. And I definitely feel that way because, like I said, I have a full-time job outside of YouTube, and I've always felt like, even growing up, as soon as I could work, like at the age where I could work, I wanted to get a job, because I just felt, and this probably stems back to my childhood and what I was just telling you guys, but I felt worthless if I wasn't like working or contributing or doing something, you know, for myself, or, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I feel like I do work hard for the things that I have. I mean, don't get me wrong, like my parents have definitely helped me with things, and my parents are very good parents, and they have blessed me with many gifts. I know like my first 2 cars my dad bought for me. I mean, they were used cars, And the first one I wrecked, and the second one he bought for me again. I mean, he got them really cheap at like an auction, but you know, some kids don't even get that. So I was very grateful for that. And I think even though my parents did get me things, they taught me that you also need to be responsible. So it was like, yeah, my dad, I feel like I'm getting teared up talking about my parents. It's silly. It's not silly, but you know, they bought me my cars, but I had to pay for my car insurance, you know, or it was like they bought me my cell phone, but I had to help make payments on it, like whenever I was in high school. So it was kind of like they helped me, but they also expected me to kind of like meet them in the middle. You know, where I know some kids, they just get everything handed to them, and then other kids really have to like struggle, and if they want anything, they have to work for it. So I feel like I had a middle ground there. And I think, okay, this is the last one, that your hair color is brunette, like my natural hair color. And I wouldn't consider my natural hair color as brunette, but I know some people do, like my roots that are growing out right now. Like my hairstylist always told me that my hair color was considered a dark or dirty blonde, but sometimes I felt like it looked like a light, warm brown. So I feel like it's kind of on the cusp of going either way. Like it could be a light brunette or a dark blonde. It's like that. I forgot what shade she said my natural was. If it was like a level 7. Does that sound right? No, I think so. Yeah, I think she said it was like a level 7. So, and I think that's like a dark blonde. So those were all of the assumptions. Like I said, some of you guys asked questions that were similar to some of the other ones that I answered. So if I didn't answer your specific question, you know, I just kind of lumped it in with those if it was similar. So I hope that you guys did enjoy this cute little tag, and you guys were so sweet and so kind. I kind of thought that maybe I might have some, I guess, like haters or something, but none of you guys left anything rude or hateful. It was all like nice assumptions. So thank you guys for being so awesome. And like I said, I hope that you guys did enjoy this. I hope this gave you some insight into more about me. If you did enjoy this, please give this video a thumbs up. If you are new, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any videos from me. But I hope that you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.